Hello, this is Diana Navarro. Welcome to the show Design Your Life with Beauty from thisisdiana.com. What a pleasure to be with you again and share some information with you. Today, I want to get right to the nitty gritty and talk to you about your home space, where you are dwell, where you roam, your castle, if you will. And this is particularly timely because we're in the middle of a strange time where the whole world is amidst a global pandemic. We have a virus that is afflicting the whole world, the whole planet at the moment. And at this moment, many of us are requested by our state, local, county governments to stay home in order not to spread it because it's extremely contagious. This crazy COVID, 19 coronavirus. So while many of us are forced to basically stay at home and hunker down, many people are out there in the trenches. Medical doctors, emergency persons, delivery people, they're working and they really are keeping us somewhat, actually alive. So thank you to them, by the way. A huge, huge thank you. But for us who are home, for the first time, for many of us, we are stuck. We're stuck for home and we don't know what to do. We're going a little crazy. This particular broadcast is going to be about taking a look at your space, what you dwell, where you normally are, and from a different perspective, looking at it and encouraging you and reminding you that a home that is organized and cleansed and orderly will bring you peace of mind and will lift your spirits. So I ask you at this moment, wherever you may be, just take a deep breath with me and we can just get started. Okay, so clutter, dirt in the house, a mess. Does it nag you? Does it bother you? Does it cause you? Or did you become immune to it? Are you aware that it's there and just kind of like sitting there? Is it something else you don't want to add to your to-do list? Like you have so many things going on, especially when you're stressed out with what's going on in the world around us. You don't want to add that. You don't want that to be another stressor in your life. And there are things that we can do, especially that we kind of been forced to have a little extra time in our hands to take notice. And speaking of notice, have you ever noticed that when you're in a space, particularly your home, I hope, at some point or another, that is, you become more relaxed and more at peace and more clear-headed and more focused when it's tidy, when it's organized, when it's clean. Now, there are some out there that believe that a neat home isn't that important in a life. It's, one of the things that are minor. But it really does lift your spirits, and it really does affect your senses, your physical senses and your emotional senses and your mental senses. We do have more than 5 physical senses. And a certain amount of order and organization, it matters. And like cleanliness matters. So we're talking about a couple of things here. Organization and cleanliness, like clean. Things that you can do to remove dirt, bacteria, mold, viruses, weird smells, all kinds of toxins. And then we're talking about the aspect of tidying up and organizing, having things that make sense. Not only do they make sense for function, for things what they're used for, but also aesthetically. Because this is your space, your castle, if you will, even if you share it with others or even if it's tiny. The wonderful thing is we have this wonderful brain that can be so creative, and we just have to be reminded. And if I can remind you, just because I've been through it 1,000 billion times, where I've been in stressful situations and I remembered a little bit of feng shui, or a little bit, which is the art of placement of objects, or just a little tidying up and organizing, everything feels absolutely better. So maybe now that some of us are stuck home because of this horrific thing that's going on around us, this pandemic, this virus that's around us at the moment and affecting many of us, maybe it's an opportunity to do some healing, physical healing and mental healing, and start caring for our home by starting with a good simple cleaning. Let's start. So, if you'd like to see your mood improve like magic, I know it sounds like exaggeration, but it really is true. There are simple things and simple ways you can do it while you're home. And since many of us are kind of stuck home, let's get to it, right? Let's get to it. So, treat your home first and foremost like a sanctuary that it is. It is your space, even if it's a little corner in the house, and again, even if you share it with others. And think about this. The mood and tone of your home influences how you feel. The types of furnishing, the placement, what you do with them, what they look like, how much they cost, all that stuff has a certain level of importance, but it's not as important as whether it's clean and functioning, like really basic function. You don't want something with springs sticking out that is dangerous, can cut you, or can cause some type of damage or make things worse. The basic cleanliness is really important. Even if it's dusty, then it's collecting dust mites and all kinds of, airborne things that could be dangerous. Like it could cause allergens, could make things a lot better. Especially now when we're in the middle of an airborne virus, or they say it might be airborne now, or a contagious virus. The more cleaner we are in our inner space, within reason, we don't want to be OCD. We don't want to have an obsessive compulsive disorder. If you do have a tendency to do that, and you do take this with balance, we want to create is a steady, clean, organized space with a certain amount of organization. And let me tell you, small changes in your home can improve your mood and make you happy. And it can be very small changes, like just tidying a couple of things, washing your dishes or organizing them in a certain way, or, just dusting just a little corner. I know, listen, there's nothing more than I hate right now than dust. Dust drives me crazy. That's my own pet peeve. Dust. I happen to live in a very particularly dusty environment, so I'm always dusting. So sometimes it's overwhelming, and you have to take it a little bit at a time and just clean one little corner at a time. And there are many ways of doing that, and that's for future shows or posts. But even if it's that, or just moving things around that you really haven't wanted to move, or throwing stuff out, decluttering, I know that's a big thing. It's a big thing. It weighs on us when we're holding on to things, and because we don't have the time or the mood or sentimental values. The mood and tone of your home influence how you feel. That's important to know. Again, small changes are doable and can make you feel happy, and incrementally they can grow into bigger changes until you feel satisfied and feel good about the changes you've made. If, again, we're stuck at home and because we're not able to work, or our routine has been somehow catastrophe, okay, let's not use that word. If it has dramatically changed, and you are at home by a catastrophe, I had to get that word in there, then having a home that's disorganized and needs a good cleaning is going to make you stressed out. So it's best, if you are in a home, that you are dwelling in a space that is organized and clean, and there's some sense to it. Your spirits are going to lift walking room to room, or corner to corner, or from one space to the other. Again, I know people have multi-room houses, and some people have small, tiny studios. It doesn't matter. Space is space, and it's your space, and it's your castle. Your home, it really does reflect what's going on in your mood and in your mind. Not only does it state, it doesn't, see, it also states the influence of your mood, your emotional mood, but also some experts, social scientists, psychologists, doctors, interior designers, they feel that your home can affect you just the way you affect your home. It is absolutely cooperative, a relationship. And studies show, they've done this in actual research, indicate that how you handle your possessions in your home is a reflection of what you believe about yourself, what your self-worth is, what your value is, how you and if you honor yourself. These aren't little wispy, wishy-washy things. This is the fundamental you of who you are. This is something to really think about. So consider this. If you're calm and relaxed by nature, the arrangement and organization, the cleanliness of your home most likely represents serenity and peacefulness. And even if you're like an excited person full of energy, you can have that also be represented in bright colors or certain ways that you place your items in your decor and your furniture. But it's still organized and it still shows serenity and balance. So you can still have those emotions. But if you are emotionally overwrought, stressed, angry, plagued with anxiety and depression, your home could be very dull, cluttered, disorganized, picking up on dirt and toxins, and that feeds on itself. You can put a stop to it, you can put a pause to it, even if it's with small changes. If you're feeling down and you find yourself in a home that's not neat or clean, that kind of continues to fester and continue. So you can do that, you can intervene. When your home challenges are addressed, your emotional and your physical state will improve. It's consistency, just simple consistency. So now, in order to have a neater, more organized home, you start by sorting and storing your possessions in an organized fashion. But let's stop for a second. Some people really have a difficult time doing this. How do you organize it? Which way? By size, by color, by type of thing? No worries. Let me tell you, we're very fortunate that at this time in our lives, we have tons and tons of resources we can use. Anybody from a decorator to a professionally certified interior designer to blogs that are free on the internet to magazines to friends that you can ask them, did you happen to admire the way they keep their space? Just do a little research, do a little look, and do a little experimentation, and you're going to find what is the best way to organize your home. An organized home just means you can find things, you know where they are. There's a scheme, there's a pattern, a general pattern, that you know that your keys are where you need to find them, where your cooking utensils are in the kitchen, not in the bathroom, not in the attic when you need them. That if you have children or animals or whatever, the toys are in an organized spot most of the time, or when you're done playing with them. And it's just a matter of, again, playing around with this a little bit. And you can just, again, take another deep breath, and avoid getting overwhelmed by the task of organizing. Vow to organize it one space at a time. Sometimes one room at a time is too overwhelming. Are you kidding me? Have you seen some people's rooms? I know my room used to be a disaster. You start with one tiny corner at a time, or one drawer at a time. If you have drawers and things you want to look through, say, maybe I can put my pens in this. I'm telling you, if you do an online search, if you happen to have a computer, I hope you do, or a smartphone, you can find the most interesting and creative ways to use things or reuse them in different ways that are kind of fun and interesting and attractive. So do that and see how you can find things to be, just more attractive and organized. You can concentrate on the desk, for example, or, all of us have a particular spot that I call it the chaos corner or the black hole area. It's always an area that no matter how hard you try, always gets disorganized. I mean, like clockwork, and insanely that it drives you nuts. And you're like, how? I just cleaned this. And I really need this. For me, it's this little spot next to my bed where I keep my most important things, my journal, my remote control, all my remote controls. For some reason, I always lose things in this little tiny space. It's really funny when you think about it. So you might have a little spot that you want to focus and see what's going on with that corner and what meaning it has in the overall. And remember, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to not do everything yourself. I mean, this is why resources exist. This is why we have, friends and family and internet and libraries, so we can ask for help. And if you do have dwelling partners, a spouse, partner, roommates, children, you can make it into a fun, not a obligatory, not a nagging, but a fun experience for everyone, a creative project for everyone. I mean, there are really things you can do. And you can ask each person to kind of clean their own spot or what they envision it, what colors they like, what shapes they like, what's their favorite, animal, whatever you want to think about it. This is not always possible, okay? So focus on your space first, on what you can control first, and worry about, believe me, there are tactics and strategies and ways of dealing with people and difficulties if you live with other people. And we can get to that, and you can always contact me if you have any questions about that. If you live with roommates or with people and you're having not the most harmonious relationship with other people, just focus on your spot and center yourself. Continue taking deep breaths. Stay centered, stay grounded. I bet you your energy, your peaceful, organized energy will emanate. It might take a while, but it will reverberate through your space. If you have financial resources or circumstances, treat yourself to, actually a professional cleaner that just, and not now during this pandemic, unfortunately, but when the time permits and the space and the finances. But, there are people that are really, this is their skill sets. This is what they're really marvelous at. And they can help you just get the initial cleaning done, and then they can help you maintain it that way. As far as interior design, for example, something that I do, different from interior decor. Decor is more just decorating and making things look pretty. Design is more the function and the decor. You can also get yourself and treat yourself to that, or just read a magazine about it and get some ideas. Having your own space, and if you're fortunate to have your own home, whether it's an apartment or a room within a home or a castle or a loft, it's a gift. It's a gift. It's a sacred time. It's a wonderful thing. Tailoring it to your specific energy frequency, to you, your moods, your preferences, is an incredible way to have control and show your own self-worth. It's incredible how people think, really, I never thought of it that way. But it's true. You're going to be glad that you did it. So with that said, I will ask you to take a moment. You can check this particular podcast is also going to be available for you to hear over and over again. I also wrote it in a transcript format so you can read it if there's something that you missed or something you want to look at. And for any ideas, I started designing these pillows as part of my interior design. That's also on the website if you want to take a peek at that, because decor pillows or throw pillows are a good way to change the space without a big commitment, financial, or buying a furniture or redoing the floors or redoing the paint. And until you do that, just getting a nice whimsical pillow or a nice sophisticated pillow is a good way to just change your space and make yourself feel better. And there are thousands of ideas. It's not the only thing. Creating a scent, a space with a scent, a particular perfume or scent, it could be flowers in your spaces also. And we'll get into that in the future, no worries. Just giving you ideas for you to make sure that you know that being at home can be a gift, even though it is under very odd circumstances and unfortunate circumstances. My heart, my mind is with those right now who are suffering, may they be people suffering from this, their beloved ones, people working in the fields, of course our animal companions, and our planet in general. With that said, I want to thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, any comments, please check thisisdiana.com. You can reach me anytime via email there. And thank you for being with me. Thank you for sharing with thisisdiana.com.